right, well, I would like to welcome everyone to our webinar this afternoon on team building in today's market. I'm Danielle Bauer, and I am CLA's Director of Membership and Education, and I'm going to be the facilitator. You'll notice on the opening slide, there's a cover of Planet Laundry magazine. So this year, what we've started doing is featuring a webinar that is the same topic that appeared in the Planet Laundry magazine. So this topic was the feature article in the June issue. So if you want to go back and read more, what we're doing today is some of the operators who were part of that article are here today to answer some additional questions. There will be time at the end for your questions. So if you'd like to ask them questions about things they had in the article or things they say today, to ask questions, you're going to type that into the question box that is in the right side of your screen. There should be a box where you can scroll down to the bottom and it says questions, and if you type it in there, I will see your question and I will ask those at the end. Today's program is also recorded, so that if you have to step away or you want to listen to it again within 24 hours, you will get an email with the recording of the full program. So before we get started with the content, I do want to thank our sponsor for today's program, Sense. And we have Sivan Salem from Sense with us today, and I'm going to turn it over to her for a few words.
Thank you so much, Danielle, and thank you to the CLA and everybody for letting us be here today. We're super excited about this topic. Labor and technology is obviously something that we're super passionate about. And when we think about technology and labor, we kind of think about two different sides of the coin. We think about the human level and the business level. So labor obviously is critical to scaling, and it represents a very high and risky cost to your business. But the idea behind scale is that you become slightly more efficient with every extra dollar that you bring in. So of course, we know that there are different models that laundromat owners are dedicated to, like the unattended model or self-service with help, or just introducing more services in general. And just thinking about the wide range of verticals in the garment care space, of course, human beings are a core part of those businesses. So thinking about scaling and labor and technology, the biggest challenge isn't a new POS, it's the people behind it. So, who wants to join this space? Well, historically, this industry hasn't been the coolest place to work, but I would argue, as you look around and see the tremendous investment that owners and operators are putting back into this business, we start to transform these places of work for the human beings that work in them and making these humans happy, utilizing technology for things like tracking their work and making it a better place to work with tipping and commissions for pounds processed. All of those types of things are really rooted in technology. And while that's the human side of technology, what we're also thinking about on the business level, technology can really help you understand how labor as a unit in your business is actually performing for you. Do you have the right amount of labor? Are you open and attended at the right hours? Do you have your shifts set up properly and staffing set up properly? Which employee is providing you the most ROI? Do you have visibility into the labor that is impacting your bottom line? Look, I'm not here to get into the nitty-gritty of the feature set about what Sense is doing, but I am here to say that the human component is at the center of what we try to accomplish for our owners and our operators that we work with. Everything we do is human-centered, whether that's for the attendants, our owners, or the end customers that are ultimately coming to your store to drop off their clothes or to do their laundry. So really just passionate and excited about labor and team building and how these things play a part with technology And I'm so excited to hear what our panelists have to say about team building in today's market. So thank you so much for this topic, and excited to hear everything.
Great, thank you so much. All right, with that, let's now introduce our panelists. We have 3 panelists with us here today. We have Patrick Dreiss from Empire Laundry. We have Ed Ellis with One Clean Laundry, and Taisha Afyong, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, with A&Q Laundry Room. So thank you to all 3 of you for participating. So the first question I want to ask, and I will, on my screen, Patrick, you're all the way to my right, so I'm going to start with you. If you could share with our attendees a little bit about your business. So how many stores you have, how many employees are full-time and part-time, if you have different roles like a manager or an attendant. So just a little bit more about your business so they understand kind of where you're coming from. Oh, I think you're muted.
How about now? Are we clear now? All right, there we go. All right, I have 4 shops, 3 laundromats, and 1 commercial plant where we do the fluff and fold from. And I have about a dozen employees right now, and they work at the laundromats. The laundromats are all 24/7. We are in Southern California in the Inland Empire, so it's Riverside County and San Bernardino counties. And that's a little bit about me.
Great, thank you. So Ed, same question, if you could share a little bit about your business and employees for attendees.
Was that me?
Yep, yeah, sorry, you, Ed.
The first part of what you were saying cut out.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right. Ed Ellis, I own One Clean Laundry with my wife. We've been in the industry since 2009. We started our first store in Winter Park. We sold that one to build one closer to home, which is now in St. Cloud. And we have 3 full-time employees. One of them is my lead. She's been with me about 7 years now. And we do, I don't know, 70,000 pounds of wash, dry, fold each year, in that ballpark.
Great. And then Taisha, if you can share about your business.
Yeah, I have 2 locations, one in South River, New Jersey, more northern central, and Runnymede, which is in South Jersey. Been in business since about 2015 is when we started our first location, which is a smaller store, about 1,300 square feet. And then we opened up the second location, which doubled in size. We have about 8 employees, all part-time, no managers as of yet. And we do wash and fold, customer service, and the usual overall keep of the laundromat. No pickup and delivery as of yet.
Great. So Taisha, I'm going to stay with you for the next question. So how would you describe the culture of your business and your team? And the second part of that is, when looking for a new employee, would you put more emphasis on their skill set or being a good culture fit?
So the culture of my business is more of a family-oriented environment. We try to stay as positive as possible and try to incorporate or strive for excellent customer service. But most importantly, we want it to be a comfortable, family-oriented environment where they can come, socialize, do laundry, and not feel tethered with, oh, is it a safe place to be, or, is it a sketchy area or anything like that. So we definitely strive for that. The team that I have is also along the family-oriented line. We want them to be as friendly as possible. We engage with our customers. We have a lot of regulars that come in every day just to see who's working on shift, to socialize and keep up with the latest gossip, if you will. There's a lot of apartment complexes in the area, so everybody wants to know who's who and who's doing what, and just to kind of keep up with those who came and have gone and is still around, that sort of thing.
Sounds like a nice place to work. So Patrick, what about you? How would you describe the culture of your business? And again, when hiring, do you look more for their skill set or their culture fit?
Well, it depends. At the laundromats, it is friendly, customer service oriented people that, for me, are bilingual. You've got to speak Spanish and English, and you just got to be a nice person that you can talk to people. I tell the gals, just clean, walk around and chat people up. Just be nice to people. It's not rocket science. It's not that hard. Just be nice. Help them out with their laundry, and chat them up about the day and how their life is. We have so many regular customers that come in every week. So yeah, they develop a relationship with their customers, and it's great. I love it. At the commercial plant, it is a little different. I do stuff there, a lot of work for dry cleaners. We have a like wholesale shirt business, and the dry cleaners are a lot. They're quite picky about the quality. So I like to get people at that plant that used to work at a dry cleaner, have a little bit of experience in the business. We're not doing dry clean. We do the wet laundry, but we do finish the stuff. So we have shirt machines and big presses, and we do all the wash and fold there too. We do about let's say about 20,000 pounds a month out of there, and we have pickup and delivery. We have vans, and it's a big process. It's a lot more work than the laundromat is, and it's a different part of the laundromat business. Really, I find very little in common besides washing machines. The fluff and fold business, it's a whole separate thing. It requires a lot more labor, a lot more management, a lot of moving parts to it, versus the laundromats, which are relatively simple. And the laundromats were most of them are pretty well built to be a laundromat. You don't have the storage. You don't have the room to fold stuff in private, or at least semi-privacy, so you can not worry about people's clothes walking away. And your staff is a lot more efficient when it comes to folding speed, when they don't have the constant interruptions of dealing with the public. So that's my 2 cents. Like I said, I got about a dozen people right now. They're all, most of them are full-time, and we try and treat them nice, and just a friendly place to work, a nice, simple job.
So Ed, the same question. How would you describe the culture of your business?
We call it friendly but professional. We do our wash dry fold right out in the front. I think of it more like a show, which drives more wash dry fold business. We use a flip fold, and the customers are watching our attendants do the wash dry fold, and then they say, well, that looks nice, and how do I do that? It looks nicer than when I do it. So that builds up our wash dry fold business. I don't hire anyone with laundry experience either. Those that I have in the past never really made it out of training before I had to let them go. They bring what I consider mistakes or bad habits from prior laundromats where they did it. So I like a fresh piece of clay, so to speak, that I can mold into my perfect employee. And they get along quite well. And when I do the hiring, I try to look for someone who's friendly, customer service focused, a little bit on the older side, that has some work experience, and not a lot of gaps in their resume. I like to see longevity, not someone who's a job hopper either. And that helps build the team.
I like your analogy, clay that you can mold.
Exactly.
All right, so moving on to the next question, I'm going to start with you, Patrick, this time. So there's a kind of two parts of this. What things do you do to try and recruit good employees to your team? And then once you find that good employee, how do you onboard and train them to become a productive member of the team?
Well, at the laundromats, I put up signs. Just help is wanted at the laundromat. I ask the attendants as well if they have any friends that are looking for work. And the last hire that I just got just came from that. And we try. And I'm sorry, what was the other part of the question? Yeah.
Training and onboarding. So what do you do to kind of make them a productive and successful part of
the training. The training at the laundromat is real simple. It's just like clean like you're a tweaker. Just get a bottle and a towel and just go to town. And even if you're going slow, it's fine. Part of it, to me, I think it's kind of like the show at Disneyland. You are a cast member here, and just walk around and wipe things. I don't care how slow you go, but people see it and they just see that we are clean. And if you're a little obsessive about it, so much the better. A little OCD, I'm fine with that. Just you can scrub the stainless steel all day. It's not gonna disappear. You're not gonna wear it out. So go ahead and clean. At the commercial plant, it is a little different. We watch videos, actually, YouTube videos on how to fold clothes. And it's fascinating. Around the world, there are some Indians and Pakis that literally use hot rocks on the side of a road and press shirts out. Some of them will run the water through their mouth and spit it out on their clothes as a spray bottle. It's fascinating, the stuff you find on YouTube these days. But I'll buy everybody lunch and we'll sit around and watch videos for an hour and laugh. And sometimes you learn something, sometimes you something good. So you learn some bad things too. I mean, you see some strange things, but that's about it. It's a laundromat. It's not, we're not building rockets here. It's a relatively simple task. Yeah, it's kind of repetitive. I get it. It may not be the most exciting thing, but that's what it is. It's just a laundromat.
So Ed, how about you? What do you do to try and recruit good employees, and then how do you onboard and train them?
We use Indeed, Facebook, and the old help wanted sign in the window. Usually that combination will get me somebody that's halfway decent. And I'm the one that does the onboarding and training because I want everyone trained the same way so that we're all doing the same process the exact same way. And I know that they've got all the information when they're cut free on their own after 5 days of training. I got it also listed. And the way my schedule rotates monthly, so I get to see the PM shift, the AM shift, at least everybody once a week. And their days off change each month. One day it'll be Friday, Saturday. Next month it'll be Sunday, Monday. Following month, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So everybody gets a shot of all the different shifts. And since we're folding the laundry and we're keeping the store clean all the same way, it really doesn't matter who the customer drops off with because they're going to get the same product. It's kind of like the McDonald's method. If you go to McDonald's in California or you go to McDonald's in New Jersey or McDonald's in Florida, the Big Mac is going to be built the same way. So our wash, dry, fold is built on that same premise.
Good consistency.
Exactly.
How about you, Taisha? How do you recruit good employees, and then what do you do to onboard and train them?
So I follow the same methods as everyone else. I post ads online. I do social media, word of mouth. Sometimes I even sit in the laundromat and chat it up with some of the customers. And after listening to their life story, you'll realize that they have a family member or themselves who are soon to be retired or looking for a part-time gig and are maybe interested. So we certainly entertain those as well. I do a lot of the training myself, one-on-one training. I want to make sure that the operations and protocols are all in line. Everyone is all on the same page. I do one-on-one wash, dry, fold process with anyone that's onboarding, so that again, we're all streamlined, all on the same page. And after doing that one-on-one, I will overlap a schedule with the potential person, with some of my team members, just so that they can see different shifts yield different customers, different time, different wash and fold quantity. So they'll get a feel of what it's like on a morning shift versus an afternoon shift versus a midday shift. They understand each person operates differently, so they get to see the personalities of different peoples at different times. So we have that, and before I let them clip their wings and fly on their own, they have to go through that process as such, one-on-one training with me, overlapping with each of my team members before they get their set schedule and fly on their own.
So all three of you talked about hiring people from basically referrals from people that already work there. Do any of you offer a referral like bonus if you hire someone from a recommendation of one of your current staff? Anyone? No?
We haven't. Unfortunately, any referrals haven't lasted past the 90-day period for me to even get to that point of offering the bonus. But it's still there. I'm still looking for that good employee that go past that 90-day mark, which I can, grease the pockets of an employee a little bit and incentivize them to refer more people and keep that ball rolling.
I've heard that before, that many don't make it past the 90 days. So I don't think you're alone there. All right, I'm gonna start with you, Ed, this time. How would you describe your management style, and what do you do to motivate your team to help make your business successful?
Good. I view myself more of a coach rather than a boss. I believe a coach is going to try and develop the employee into the best employee that they could possibly be with their own skill sets. Found this great book many years ago. I don't know how that comes across, but pick that up. It's very helpful. When we first started out, we also do a bonus for the wash, dry, fold day process. So there's criteria. They have to not be late, not call out sick. They have to do the laundry, provide good customer service, and then at the end of the month, whatever poundage that they did, they'll get a 10 cent per pound bonus added to their check. So that motivates them to bring in more wash, dry, fold and do a good job at the same time. We also attach something that I call a love card to each wash, dry, fold order. So it says your laundry was prepared with love by so-and-so's name. They sign their name, put it on the ticket with the order. On the back, there's a $2 off coupon to bring in a comforter. So I like the win-win-win situation. So once someone puts their name on a piece of work, it kind of motivates them to do a better job because they've signed off on it and we know exactly who did what. Then it's a win for the customer because they're going to have $2 off to bring in a comforter, which brings in more work. And as we all know, comforters are pretty darn easy to do for the money. What else did I have written down? Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, great. So Taisha, same thing. How would you describe your management style, and then what do you do to motivate your team?
So like Ed, I like to be the coach of the team and not necessarily the boss. I like to be fair, flexible. I like to encourage and empower my staff. I don't like to micromanage. That hasn't really worked out well for me. I like to give them the autonomy to work. I'm very transparent with them. I set expectations. This is what needs to be done. That's right up front. There's no questions or problems with regards to that. And I express my gratitude and appreciation, because a lot of times you don't get that from a management or a boss in that way. Sometimes some people feel like, oh, well, this is your job. This is what you're getting paid to do. And while that may be the truth, sometimes a little bit of appreciation and gratitude goes a long way. So I try to incorporate that in my management style.
And what about you, Patrick? Your management style, and then what you do to motivate your team?
Well, at the laundromats, the people there, they're like the officer of the deck or the duty guy, manager on duty. I let them go and run the place themselves. It's their shop. It's kind of like, I'm the admiral on the ship, but they're in charge right now. So they can make their own decisions. They're empowered to do anything they need to do as far as keeping customers happy. And that's really it. Just try and satisfy their needs and get them to return. At the wash and fold plant, we have team leaders there, and they're in charge of the shifts. We run 2 shifts every day, so we have 16 hours of production there. And they have an incentive program at the end of the month, how much our sales were versus how much the labor costs were, X and Y, and there is a bonus for them, a cash bonus every month. And that seems to be the biggest thing, is just paying people more money. Cash is king. People do a good job, give them some extra money, let them do what they want with it, but give them money. That's like the universal thing, I think.
That is true. Oh yeah, do you have something, Ed? Yeah.
Yep. A couple other things that we like to do, I forgot. I randomly will send them gift cards to their phones, like an Amazon gift card, just out of the blue. And other things I like to do is at shift change, sometimes I'll have a Papa John's pizza delivered for them. So little things like that, just say thank you.
I think everyone, that's just what they're looking for, is the little bit of recognition, and thank you. So and I'm not sure which of you have managers. Patrick, you might have them in your plant, maybe not the laundromat, but I guess when you have staff that you think might be manager material, like how do you make that determination, and then how do you train them to take on more responsibilities? So do any of you have managers that you've gone through that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just tell them, hey, you're the manager now. You're for this 8 hours. You're the manager on duty. Do what you need to do. And if you have any great ideas, I'm all ears about anything. And it's your show to run. Try and do the best you can. I really try and hire very nice, friendly people that have a good vibe. I know it's hippiness, but that's what I'm really looking for at the laundromats. Just nice people, and I think kindness and niceness attracts each other. There's too much hostility and dissension in the world, and if people can, doing laundry is not the most pleasant task to begin with. I get it. If we can make that pleasant for at least an hour of their life as best we can, yeah, I think that's a win-win for everybody.
Definitely. Ed or Taisha, do either of you have managers that?
I do not have managers at either one of my locations. However, I do encourage and empower my attendants to be managers in their own right. They all have different personality traits. They all have different things to contribute to the laundromat. So I do look and observe all their different qualities to see how I can best get the best version of them, whether that's management material, lead shift material. However, it can be the best version of them is what I try to do, what I try to have. One thing just to add in terms of incentives, they do receive like 10% of, I don't want to say commissions, but commissions for a lack of a better word, for the amount of wash and fold and stuff that they do. So those incentives are in place. So you have that also as a motivator for them. Like Patrick said, cash is king. So whatever you can do to incentivize them to be the best version of themselves is what we try to do.
Great. So the next question you guys have touched on a little bit, which is strategies to really try to keep employees. And I know you talked a little bit about cash, but I don't know if you offer any particular bonuses or maybe any unique benefits to try and keep good employees. So let's start with you, Ed.
Yep, I do, like I said, with the 10 cents a pound that's paid monthly, we pay them well above minimum wage, because I don't want minimum wage employees. I want someone a little more dedicated. And I find, like, if you pay them well, they're going to stick around longer. Thankfully, knock on wood, I haven't had to hire anyone in almost 2 years. So I'm pretty pleased about that. And my lead attendant, she'll step up when I'm out of town on vacation, and she knows most of my duties inside the store, not the stuff behind the scenes. So I've been trying to get her into a managerial role, so my time at the store is even less. What else do we do? Oh, the bonuses. There's a $200 bonus after they complete their 90 days. And we did offer, or still do offer, a bonus if someone refers a friend and they make it past their 90 days. I haven't had to pay that one yet.
Common thread here. those first 90 days are crucial. How about you, Patrick? Anything, again, I know you said cash is king, but any other unique, I don't know, benefits or things you do to try to really keep those good employees?
I pay everyone for 8 hours, including, their lunch break. I pay their lunch break. They're there for 8 hours. I want them there for 8 hours. So yeah, we pay them for that. And yeah, I buy them lunch once a week or so. We'll staff get together. And the refrigerators are all full of sodas and waters right now. It's particularly hot here in SoCal this week. So yeah, keeping lots of water at the plant, fans everywhere that they can move wherever they want them. Just put them all back at the end of the night, but every day take them out, put them exactly where you want it, move them around, try and make yourself as comfortable as you can. And yeah, that's
yeah. What about you, Taisha? Anything that you do?
So I have random acts of kindness that I do throughout the year, just because, just randomly show up unannounced and see what they're doing. If it's hot, hey, let's go to Rita's and, get some ice cream or some we call Italian ice or something like that. I celebrate birthdays. I bring in cake or we go out to lunch. I also celebrate anniversaries. I sometimes get cards or I just shoot text messages with emojis and just the little things to show them that I appreciate, I remember, I acknowledge. Like I said, compassion, flexibility, gratitude, it really does go a long way. Any extra money I can throw their way, I try to do that, gift cards and such. At the end of the year, I always give a good bonus. Like I said, even with the wash and fold, they get 10% out of whatever wash and fold that they do. And sometimes you have that crown, if you will, that goes around to different employees, whoever maximize out on that poundage. So we do have that.
All right, I like that, the crown. So the next question is related to communications with your team. So we'll start with you, Ed. Do you do like regular staff meetings, or do you communicate through mostly like email, text? And along with that, how do you address any employee issues or concerns or even suggestions they have?
Okay, we haven't had a staff meeting since COVID struck. We used to have them quarterly, and when COVID came around, we stopped doing it and really don't see a need to bring it back, because then I have to bring somebody in on their day off for a 1-hour meeting, which is inconvenient to them. We have a shift log book that's kept at the counter. So that's how one shift communicates to the next shift, what's going on, any issues they can put in there for me to review as well. And the way our schedule works, the way it rotates, I'm with all my employees every week. So they get to the one-on-one time with me for at least 4 hours a week. Some have more. We do texts. Sometimes there's a group text if I need something out to everybody all at once. But usually if it's just a minor issue, it's just one-on-one text or a phone call if it's very urgent. Yep, I think
Great.
that's our communication skills.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, it's important. What about you, Taisha? What is your communications with your team, and how do you address any employee issues or suggestions?
Well, I have, I guess you can say, quarterly staff meetings, but I do have regular conversations with them collectively, independently. I have group texts that I'll send out to everyone, or individual text if needed. If anything pressing needs to happen, I have that one-on-one discussion, any concerns, issues. I do have one-on-one discussions. I am in the laundromat every week, so some of my employees, depending on the shift that I come, will have that one-on-one time with me. But any concerns, I try to get to them as urgent as I can to nip that in the bud. I don't like tension or hostility in the air, because then that tends to damper on the productivity of the team as a whole. So those things I like to nip in the bud. I don't do concerns via text message, because then the wording can be misconstrued or something can, go awry. So I like to have that one-on-one conversation with them in person if I can, because sometimes, you can't read someone when they're having an issue over the phone versus that one-on-one conversation with them. So I'm pretty open door policy. You can get to me via phone, text, in person while I'm there, kind of available.
Yes, I think what you said, when there's an issue, sometimes texts or emails, there's a tone that may not even be there, so that personal touch probably helps diffuse it. Patrick, same thing. How do you communicate with your team, and how do you address any issues or concerns or suggestions?
Well, at the plant, usually first thing in the morning, like 8 o'clock, we'll try and have a team briefing, where we just go over the production for the day, look at the list, make sure the driver's on the same page with us, where he's going, what he's picking up, places, anything special to go, and if we can time things, sometimes it's easier for him to just take the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes and do the 2 or 3 local pickups, then come back, then we'll load him up, and he'll go to the furthest start of the end and work his way back, type of thing. At the laundromats, yeah, we'll chat every couple of days on the phone, and it's like with COVID, yeah, we kind of stopped doing the staff meetings that we were doing like every 3, 4, 5 months, and it's easier to just talk to people individually. I think now I don't have a lot of turnover at the laundromats. I have a very stable crew at the places, so we don't have a lot of those issues we have to deal with. It's just keep showing up. keep being nice to people, and as long as I don't get calls at 10 o'clock that no one's there, or a problem because the attendant's not there, then I'm a happy boy. So.
Yes. All right, so we have one last question, and then I'm gonna, we do have quite a few questions that people are posting. I'm gonna turn to those, but so for the last question, I'll start with you, Ed. So if you had just one piece of advice to build a strong and effective team, what would that be? Or maybe it's the best piece of advice you ever received.
I would say before you can build a strong team, you need to improve yourself. So never stop reading. Read books on leadership, coaching, and the more you can learn, then you can help develop your team that much better. I also, when I interview people, I say, I don't hire you to fire you, I hire you to retire you. That's one of the philosophies. And also in training, train your people well, pay your people well, give them the tools they need to do the job correctly, and have your open door and listen to your people.
I love that. I don't hire you to fire you. I hire you to retire you. That's a good bumper sticker. How about you, Patrick? One piece of advice to build a strong and effective team.
Well, I like that one that he just said, hire you to retire you. I'm my right-hand guy that's been with me for about 20 years at a couple of different businesses is getting ready to retire. So I know in the next couple of months, it's a big hole that is not going to get replaced right away. So I know my life is going to get busier. But yeah, you can ask people to do stuff, but I like to do it with them the first time. It's like, yeah, I know how to mop. I'll teach you how to mop. I'll teach you how to wipe things down. And I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I can't do or haven't done before type of thing. I'm asking you to do stuff I don't want to do anymore. I mean, who wants to stick their hand in that toilet? I mean, I'll do it, but I really don't want to. That's what I'm paying you for. So be nice to people and pay them well. I think those are the number two things.
Pay well seems to be a common theme. How about you, Taisha? What would you say is your best piece of advice?
My best piece of advice is never ask your attendees or your employees to do something that you're not willing to do yourself. Once you show them that you're willing to do it or you have done it, they're more inclined to be right on board and do things with you. I agree with Ed, never stop learning. Even add people to your team that can help expand your knowledge on different things. You know, wherever you fall short, you have a team member that can come and pick up the pieces and make you whole again. So those different components is what I would give as advice to someone.
Very good advice. All right, I'm going to turn to questions that have been posted. If anybody else listening has a question, feel free to type that in. The first question was, do you all hire a certain demographic of employee? So do you look for any particular demographic or not necessarily? I guess, Patrick, you want to?
All right. For me, at the laundromats, I'm looking for people that are bilingual. That's about the only requirement that I'm looking for. I don't care male or female. I have them both, young and old. We have them too, and everything in between. We're wide open. Just nice people that, for us, speak Spanish and English. That's 60% or plus at some of the laundromats is it's all Hispanics, speaking people, which is great. But it's so much easier if you can communicate with them.
Ed or Taisha, do either of you look for a particular demographic, or it doesn't really matter?
For my smaller location, I do try to find someone who is bilingual because the demographic there is a lot of Spanish, Brazilian, so there's Portuguese and different dialects of Spanish. So it does help to have an employee that speaks both. Otherwise, and all I can do is my little bit of Spanglish and point, so for me to understand what it is you're trying to communicate with me. So for one location, definitely someone that's bilingual. For the other location, it doesn't matter, just as long as you fit the molds of my team. You're professional, you're polite, you communicate well, you're clean. You know, as long as you fit that mold, we can take it from there.
Great. I'm going to move on to the next question. I don't know if any of you have 1099 workers, but someone's asking anyone's feelings on 1099 workers, given the trend is likely to be that more states are making it limited or prohibited. Do anyone have 1099 workers or considered it, or any thoughts on it, I guess?
No, I don't have any on my end.
Well, they're either an employee or they're not. If you want to play this 1099 game to try and save a couple of bucks, be my guest. But you give up so much control when you do that over an employee. You can't call them an employee. You can't tell them when to show up. They got to provide their own equipment, their own tools and stuff. It's a whole different ball of wax. And to me, it's not worth the hassle. I like sleeping at night, knowing that I have workers' comp, I have an umbrella policy, I have insurance, everything's legit. I don't want to play those games anymore. When I was 18, different world. But now I'm older and wiser.
So the next question, someone's asking, what does a typical shift duties look like, and do you provide any sort of checklists per shift?
I love checklists. We have a lot of checklists. We have opening procedure checklists, closing procedure checklists, during the shift checklists of what they're supposed to be cleaning and looking out for. Go over all of that during training. It's on a nice laminated sheet at the counter for them if they ever need to refer to it. Now that my employees have been with me almost 2 years and 1.7, it's by memory now, so they hardly ever have to look at it.
I also have a checklist. Ed, I might need to get your laminated one. It sounds more detailed than mine. But I do have a checklist in which your morning shift, the things that you're supposed to do for that shift, your afternoon shift, what's entailed in that, wash and fold, how to process orders. There's a checklist for that. The way the bag's supposed to be folded or tagged, there's, a process for that. So checklists are good. Over time, it's committed to memory, so they're not used as much for that training process until they get acclimated to the systems and protocols. Checklists are very necessary.
Okay, so checklist is a yes. So you, at least two of you, maybe all three of you, mentioned that you really haven't had many people make those 90 days. So someone's asking, what are some of the reasons you see that people may not be staying for those 90 days? Any feedback that would help someone?
Well, for me, when they're training with me, I get a good feel for them. If they're not providing good customer service, speaking to people nicely, if they show up late, and if they don't show up at all, those are all considered, it's not going to work out. Early on, I hired someone from another laundromat. He was in training with me. We're doing wash, dry, fold. He actually pushed a customer out of the way, put the wash, dry, fold in the dryer that the customer was about to use. So I said, this is not going to work.
So for me, it's an observation period. That's what I look at with my 90-day period, and I let them know up front. Listen, we have 90 days to figure out if this is a good fit for both of us. Some people feel that, it's doing laundry is an easy task. It's a no-brainer. A baby could do it. they say that until they get in there and actually work a shift and see what's all involved. So if they start and I notice that, yes, this is a good fit, or no, this is not a good fit, we both have opportunity to discuss and walk away, no hard feelings.
Anything to add, Patrick? No, okay. So the last question we have is, how do you find a quality manager? What attributes do you look for? So I know some of you don't have managers, but I guess if you can offer any advice, if you were going to hire a manager, what would you look for in a manager that may be different than your attendants?
I would say I'd be looking for someone who's wanting to strive for more, has some motivation behind them, asks a lot of questions, want to learn more about the business itself. And if they do have some leadership abilities, how are they talking to their other team members? If they are trying to coach them up, that's someone I'd be looking towards. If they're trying to put other team members down, probably not going to make out as a good manager.
I piggyback on everything Ed just mentioned. To find that needle in the haystack is someone that definitely shows more interest and has that eager to learn and elevate themselves. So the more I can encourage and empower that, the more you can probably find someone that would fit that position.
Great. Well, thank you to all of you. That is the end of our questions. So in the last couple minutes, I'm just going to share a few resources and upcoming events for everyone on this webinar. So CLA just launched a new Facebook group called the Laundry Professionals Network. We launched it yesterday. Already has quite a few people and some good activity going on. So if you haven't joined, I would invite you to join. Here's the exact link, but if you go on Facebook and type out Coin Laundry Association or Laundromat Professionals Network, you will find us. If you really can't find it, you can send me an email and I will help you find it. I also wanted to share some of our upcoming virtual events. We have one in August that is ancillary profit centers, what to offer and why. So that, again, is coming out in the July issue of Planet Laundry. And it's talking about some of the additional services. For example, one owner has a pet wash attached to their laundromat, another has a gym. So just some unique offerings that people have in addition to the laundromat. And then in September, we're doing a program on garment care basics for full service operators. So those, if you go on our website in our event calendar, you can find more details on those as well as the registration links. Our virtual events are always free, so easy to register. We also are doing face-to-face local events. The next one coming up is next week in Richfield, Ohio, which is near Cleveland. And then we're going to the East Coast in August and then back out to California. We did Southern California early in the year. Now we're doing more Northern California, Chicago area, and then ending in November in Atlanta. So certainly if you're in those areas, we invite you to come, but if you feel like traveling, anyone is welcome. They're purely 2-hour networking events, usually a dinner. I know, Patrick, you've been to a few in our Southern California, and they're just good events to just connect with your peers. Oops. And then coming up, we do some local events. This is one of our large national events, and it's all focused on wash, dry, fold. So our Wash, Dry, Fold 2023 workshop is October 4th through the 6th in Nashville. The link here has more details about it, registration. We did our first one last year. It was highly successful. So decided to do it again. So we're excited. We're in mid planning the content, so the agenda should be coming out soon. But again, it'll be speakers in the industry sharing their expertise in wash, dry, fold, pickup and delivery, and commercial accounts. So hope to see some of you there. So again, I want to first thank our panelists for participating today and sharing your knowledge. Also, thank you for contributing to the article. Again, you know, all of you can reference the article if you want more information. I want to thank Sense once again for sponsoring this event, and then thank all of you for coming. I mentioned at the beginning, but in case you came on late, this was recorded, so you'll get a recording of it in case you missed any of it. That should come within the next 24 hours. So with that, thank you, and everyone have a great rest of your day.